All right, good afternoon and welcome everyone to our trending topics class for today. My name is Charlotte Scheid and I'm one of the Giant Company Dietitians. Appreciate everybody joining me here today for a super fun class. Always like the foods and everything that come with this holiday, but we are going to be having a Cinco de Mayo celebration, which is next Monday, but it doesn't hurt to get started sooner than that. So let's learn a little bit about Cinco de Mayo. And actually, before we do that, let me pull up this poll because I would love to hear from all of you if you do celebrate this holiday. So that will be our poll for today. Okay, so the question is, do you celebrate Cinco de Mayo? So I know that I definitely celebrate with food, and I'm sure a lot of you do as well. All right, give everybody a couple more seconds to answer that. Okay, so let me end the poll and I'll share the results. Okay, so it looks like some of you do, but there's actually a good majority of you that do not. So hopefully this class today will inspire you to celebrate the holiday and to incorporate the recipes that we'll be making for today. All right, so thanks everyone for answering that question. Okay, so Cinco de Mayo food. So obviously, I'm sure all of you know, Cinco de Mayo is observed on May 5th. It is a holiday that celebrates the Mexican Army's victory over France at the Battle of Puebla on May 5th, 1862. But the celebrations include parades, music, dancing, and of course, traditional food. So I just wanted to list a few popular Cinco de Mayo foods. Their first is Mexican street corn, which I think in the class I don't know, maybe a couple years ago or whatever, we made this Mexican street corn is a recipe on savory, but that's a popular recipe with mayo or sour cream sauce, with cojita cheese, lime, and cilantro. Of course, guacamole. Of course, I eat that all year round, not just on Cinco de Mayo, but I saw in chat a lot of you do incorporate or like guacamole. We have carnitas, which is a pork dish, some fish tacos, or more, or also mole poblano. I'm sure that's not how you pronounce it, but anyways, so it's a thick and savory sauce made from chili peppers, chocolate, and spices, which I've heard of people having that. I personally have not had that, but it always looks super delicious. So just wanted to list just a couple of foods of Cinco de Mayo. Of course, there's just a few of the many different types of yummy food for this holiday. So these are, if you are celebrating the holiday next Monday, some Cinco de Mayo products that we do have in store. Of course, we have our brand Chunky Guacamole, which comes in mild or medium if you like a little bit more of heat. We have cojita, I know I'm not pronouncing that right, but this type of cheese that you can use, blue corn tortilla chips, which do get a guiding star. Those are super delicious if you haven't had those before, and they add some nice color as well, those blue corn tortilla chips. Of course, we have cilantro, which adds flavor to any dish. Also, mango salsa, that is fresh. I also put this minced garlic, which is always a staple in my refrigerator, but usually the garlic is just kind of a base for a lot of the different types of meals. We have our 90-second Spanish rice, and then the fajita blend, which we'll be using today in our fajita recipe, which is really nice. It's a blend of red pepper, green pepper, and onion. It makes it nice so you don't have to cut it up or anything if you are busy and on the go, but that's in our pre-cut section. So just wanted to give you some product ideas if you are celebrating this holiday or really any time throughout the year if you want to try some of these. They're super delicious. Okay, so this is the recipe that we're going to be making today. It is very, very easy, but it's a south of the border fajitas. So again, we're using our fresh pepper and onion fajita mix. We also are going to be using, I don't know if anybody has seen these in store. They're normally by kind of like the hot dogs, some of the meats, but these are our they are Purdue shortcut chicken strips. We're going to be using the fajita ones, and I'll be going over a little bit about this product in the next slide. So we're going to be using that. It smells super, super delicious, but that's the fajita chicken strips. We're going to be incorporating some chunky salsa, which we have right here, some whole wheat tortillas, which get there are 4 grams of fiber for one tortilla, which is nice. We'll be using a whole wheat one, and then of course some cheese. This you can use Monterey Jack cheese. You can really use any type of cheese that you want. And then I also have some optional additions to the fajitas, which are the guacamole, and then you can add sour cream if you want, but if you want a little bit more of a protein pop, you can do some Greek non-fat yogurt. So I have our brand right there. So that's one of the recipes that we're going to be making today. But let me just review a little bit of the Purdue shortcuts, which is a wonderful addition to any meal. So what they are, and you can see there is a variety of them, but they are pre-cooked, perfectly seasoned chicken strips. They're very versatile for quick and protein-packed meals. So for one serving, which is about 6 pieces or about like a half of a cup, gives you 20 grams of protein. So if you are looking to add a lot of protein into your diet, these are really great to have, and they're super easy to just pull out as you need them because they are pre-cooked. So they are fresh and never frozen, delicious and ready when you are, and again, ready in minutes. So you can see the variety of flavors that they have. So they have honey roasted chicken, rotisserie chicken, roasted chicken, um, grilled chicken, and do I even have, I didn't even, yeah, I do. I do have the fajita one there. And then hickory smoked chicken as well. So you can see a lot of different flavors, and you can put them in whatever meal that you want. So if you haven't seen those in stores, definitely give it or go ahead and look for it. But I also wanted to list ways to use Purdue shortcuts. Sometimes we think of them as just putting them on salads, but there are so many different ways that you can use Purdue shortcuts. So in things like tacos, fajitas, which we'll be using today, burritos and quesadillas, you can incorporate them into sandwiches and wraps like a chicken Caesar wrap. Add them onto a rice or grain bowl. You can add in some veggie, beans, and dressing. Pasta salads, which will be coming pretty popular with the warmer weather coming up. Flatbreads or pizza. I don't know if anybody had or eats that, but those can be are really nice. So just add those for a little bit more protein on that. You can make chicken sliders. You can do cheese and chicken kebabs if you're on the go or want to have a picnic. I always like a good sheet pan meal, which I probably pretty much say in every class. But like sheet pan chicken nachos, you can use the fajita flavor. I think those would be really good, but like a sheet pan chicken nacho. Also, any type of stir fry with chicken, and usually like the grilled chicken flavor, I think would taste really well or really good with that. But stir fried with chicken. You can add again veggies and then dressing served over rice. So you can see here a lot of different ways to use Purdue shortcuts. But again, if you haven't seen them in store, definitely give them a shot. A lot of different flavors to choose from. But we'll be using the fajita one in today's recipe on the south of the border fajitas. And so we'll be making the fajitas, but because it's Cinco de Mayo and I always like a good mocktail, we're going to be making a coconut orange mock margarita, which is a savory recipe online. So it's very easy to make. Orange juice, some unsweetened like coconut milk, which I already have poured into my pitcher, and I already have squeezed my lime, so fresh lime juice. And also with the orange juice, we are going to be, we are going to be using our brand orange juice, or you can do maybe like 9 or 10. I mean, if you want to purchase 9 or 10 oranges, and squeeze those for some fresh orange juice. But I always like our brand orange juice. I think it tastes really well. So I already squeezed the lime juice and then adding some honey and then kind of decorating it with some orange slices, lime slices, and marshmallow cherries, if you want to do that as well. So this is kind of the final picture, but of course you can do this for Cinco de Mayo, but I think this would be a really good poolside drink as well, if you're looking for something like that. So that's the other recipe that we're going to make today. So let me stop sharing my screen and we will get started here. All right, so let me go ahead. I don't know if you can see, if you can see my skillet back here. Let me move it a little bit. So let me just turn on the heat a little bit. So I already did that a little bit before class. I put a little bit of oil in here. You don't have to use that much. I just put a little bit of canola oil in. So we're going to be adding in our fajita blend. So again, it's just a blend of onion, green pepper, and red pepper. And I'm going to be just kind of sauteing this for a couple minutes or so, just until it's cooked down. Oops. So you can see you really get a lot in there. So let me put this to the side and we'll turn up the heat a little bit. I'll wait for that to sizzle. So once that cooks for about, I don't know, a couple minutes or so until it cooks down, then we're going to add in our chicken, which again is our Purdue Shortcuts chicken fajitas, which will be really delicious and always has good flavor. So while that is heating up, I don't hear it sizzling. Let me actually turn it up a little bit more. Let's go ahead and just make our um, mock margarita, so coconut orange. So in my picture you see right here, I have unsweetened light coconut milk. I don't know if anybody has purchased that before, but I always like coconut. So coconut milk is just like a blend of the like coconut meat from a coconut and then mixed with water. So that's coconut milk is. This can is 13.5 ounce can. So I already put that into my pitcher. Let me actually put my lid on this. Let's stir this a little bit. Put my lid on, see if it comes up a little bit more. Okay. So I'm going to add again, so I'm using our 100% orange juice. I'm going to add 3 cups. Okay, you go ahead and measure this. All right, so we have 2. All right, so there's 2 cups. And we'll add in 1 more. All right, so this is our 3 cups. And then we're going to add in a 4th cup of lime juice. So you can see here, I already freshly squeezed my lime juice. Smells really, really good. But again, you can always purchase just the lime juice that has already been squeezed, that comes in the bottle. We don't necessarily have to do that either. Okay. And then 1 tablespoon of honey. I just have our brand honey. See if this is sizzling. During the sizzle a little bit. All right. So we're going to add in 1 tablespoon of honey. And I'm just going to probably take a knife and just kind of mix it up a little bit. Now I can hear the mix sizzling. All right, just trying to get this honey out. I used to have one of those glass tools that could mix. It's a little bit better than this knife, but that's okay. Okay, so again, we have our coconut milk, lime juice, and then orange juice right here. It's giving this a good stir. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and set this to the side. Let me see how this is doing. It's definitely sizzling. This is on the highest. All right, so that's looking good. So what I'm going to do in the meantime, while that is cooking, let me bring over my cutting board and I'm just going to cut some orange slices and then lime slices as well. And I did already pre-wash my orange and limes. All right. So I'm just kind of cut some wedges on here. I should say slices. Ooh, this is a really nice juicy orange, which is good. All right, so I'll do 2 of these, bring over my lime. I think this also adds some nice color to the drink. All right, so those are ready to go. Let's see how this is going. Right. I'm gonna go ahead and add in my Purdue shortcuts, again, chicken fajita flavor. Go ahead and add these in, just to add in the whole package. And this package is 8 ounces. This mix. We're just gonna have that cook a little bit, and then we're gonna add in a cup of salsa. So I'm just using our thick and chunky mild salsa, which again, salsa, great addition for Cinco de Mayo and the holiday. Okay, so here's a question. So can you use canned coconut milk or the liquid in a container? So that's a good question. You could probably use either one. The recipe calls for a can of coconut milk, but you can always try it with the liquid in a container as well. I think that's a great question. Either one. All right, let me get this. It's all right, so our fajita mix is cooking down, which is good. Everything's getting warm. All right, so while that's cooking down, I'm just gonna go ahead and measure out a cup of our salsa. We can go ahead and mix that in. Okay. Actually just gonna go ahead and put in our salsa. This stuff is definitely getting warmed up, so I'm gonna do a cup of turkey salsa and just have everything warm up then. We turn this heat down a little bit. Just making sure the salsa is getting it all over everything and it's even. And of course, what's nice is that the chicken is already pre-cooked, so you don't really, have to worry about like cooking through and all that kind of stuff, but you just want it to be warmed. Okay. So let me go ahead and set my wedges to the side and bring over my plate, and I'm going to put one of my whole wheat flour tortillas on there so we can plate it. And again, these whole wheat flour tortillas have 4 grams of fiber and 5 grams of protein. I don't know if anybody has seen these in the store, but they are really nice. And it gives, that fiber that we need. And actually, I think one thing I'll do, I'm going to put this in, let me do 2 of them. I'm going to put this in the microwave for maybe 30 seconds or so it gets warm, so it's kind of easier to fold. So I'm going to put this in the microwave about 30 seconds. All right, so hopefully that will get warmed up. Go ahead and see how this is doing. Things getting nice and warm and cooking down, which is great. Put this a little bit longer and we get our tortillas. Those are nice and warm. Actually, let me grab another plate. And I'll put one of the fajitas on here, or tortillas. All right, so let me go ahead and I'm going to scoop out and turn this heat down. It's really good. And it's gonna put in our chicken, pepper, and onion mix with salsa. This one here. And the next thing I'm going to add onto my fajita is our brand Monterey Jack cheese. You put whatever cheese that you would like on it, but this is always a good one. So now we're going to add this right on top. And then all you do is you fold it up. And you can put like guacamole or like the non-fat Greek yogurt right on top. You can just put it as a dip on the side. So we're just going to fold this and turn it over. So there's our fajita. So actually, let me do that. So of course I have our brand guacamole, chunky guacamole. That's the medium. Take this off. I'm just going to put a scoop on my plate right here. Grab a spoon. And just add some guacamole to it. Just like that. So that is our south of the border fajita. So you can see it wasn't too hard. Not too hard to make. So let me set that right here and we'll finish our coconut orange mock margarita. Actually, let me get some ice in here. I'm gonna put some ice in here. Put this in. Great. I'm going to take my orange. I'm going to put a toothpick right in it, and I'm going to put one of the cherries right on top. This cherry's kind of falling apart. Let me get another one. I think that's. Let me do another one. All right. We'll probably, let's see if this goes in. Here I'm gonna put it in. Well, okay, maybe I won't do that. Just trying to get it to stay straight up. Let me just do the line like that, and I'll just do orange. All right, so this is our mock coconut orange mock margarita. So for Cinco de Mayo, and then our fajita. Let me actually turn it this way. I'm gonna kind of see it a little bit better. So this is our south of the border fajita with some guacamole. So these are two recipes that are perfect for Cinco de Mayo, and hopefully for those of you who don't celebrate the holiday, you can make these recipes for it. All right.